What's up, guys? I'm going to install some longer wheel studs and use some longer lug nuts on my 66 Mustang. But why do people have these? What's the purpose of these longer wheel studs? Why would you want something like that? And how do you know if you have enough thread engagement with your lug nuts on your car right now? We're going to cover all that in this video. And before I take this wheel off, this is a good chance to measure what the thread depth is, or the thread engagement on the lug nuts that I have now. It's not going to be exact science because it's a cone at the bottom here, so we're going to try to guesstimate as best we get this thing as close as we can to what I think it'll be. Okay, so it says 0.589. I'm guessing because I mean the cone goes down inside there, but there's not threads at the bottom of the cone, so 0.5 probably, you know, ½ inch of thread engagement. And so let's hold on to that number for a minute and let's get this wheel off. Now, of course, these studs aren't short, but we can't use all of the thread engagement because we've got the thickness of the wheel. But if we measure just how much the stud sticks out, so we're about 1 1/8 of an inch or so from the head here, or the end of it, to the surface here on the disc. That doesn't really tell us much because I got the thickness of the wheel, but I know that I got about ½ inch of thread engagement with the thickness of the wheel and the lug nuts that I have now. All right, now we can get this disc off and we can measure, see, we can even measure a little bit more of the stud length. So now we picked up another 1/4 of an inch, the thickness of that disc, or the hat on that disc. So it's important because when you buy studs, you forget about the thickness of the disc or the drum, then you have the thickness of the wheel. So when you get to the end, how much thread engagement are you really gonna have? So now I want to get these guys out. I don't think I need to take this hub off. I think I can take them out from the back here. Let me do that real quick. All right. So there's the one that I had in there. Here's the new one. So we're going to get about 1 inch more of thread that we can use. But why is that important? Why would we want these longer studs? Let's go over the bench and we'll talk about the differences and the importance of thread engagement when it has to do with the diameter of the lug nut that you're using and the diameter of the bolt and all that kind of stuff. So let's do that real quick. Now, as we were talking, these longer studs are going to give us more thread engagement potential depending on what we're doing. Now, if I were to use these lug nuts on this, it wouldn't work because it's got a cap on there, so it only goes so far. So you got to have something like an open head lug nut. You can also get this style, the shorter ones. But what we're trying to do is give ourselves some more thread engagement. This one here is going to have roughly, the threads are just right around this area here, and they go almost to the cone. So we've got probably about 1 1/4 inches of potential thread engagement with this one. Now, because this stud is longer, we're definitely going to be able to do that. But this guy here, you can't, it's hard to see. It's roughly around here. So the max you could have is about 3/4 of an inch of thread engagement. Now you could take this top off if you wanted to, but we've got these. And then with this setup, because I've got this, you can also check to see that there is longer studs. For example, some racing bodies, you know, some organizations require long studs to maximize thread engagement for your wheels because of the loads that you're going to see during racing. And so sometimes they require either the studs to stick out past the lug nut or to have an open back so you can see the length of the stud. That's the kind of stuff that if you were going to chase that kind of performance, that's the stuff you'd be looking for. But let's dig a little bit more into thread engagement and why that's important. So the industry standard tends to be you want as much thread engagement at least as the width of the bolt. So just sticking with round numbers here, this is a ½ inch bolt. It's not quite a ½ inch, you know, cross because of the thread depth, but let's call it a ½ inch. And if we're going to have, this is a 1/2 20 threads per inch pitch. So we would want 10 threads worth of engagement because that equals a ½ inch, and that's how this is. So if we have N is the number of turns, and in this case, with this particular stud, our pitch is 1 over the threads per turn. So there's 20 of them per 1 inch, and that equals 0.05. And our length of engagement that we're looking for just for nominal is a ½ inch. So our equation would be the number of turns equals the length of engagement over the pitch. So we've got 0.5, that's our length, over the pitch, which is 0.05. So our number of turns equals 10. Now that's the standard because we want a 1/2 inch of engagement. We need to get 10 threads, and that works out because of our pitch and everything like that. So if you wanted more, kind of a safety factor built in, or you want to follow some of the rules in some of the racing, they tend to want 1.5 times, even up to 2 times the width. So if we knew that, putting our numbers down here, if we know that our number of turns needs to be, let's just say, we want 1.5 times for safety factor, so we want 15 turns, because that's 1.5 of that. Our pitch is 0.05. We knew that from above. So how many threads? What's our length of engagement here? Well, we can take our equation and plug this stuff in, and we go 15 equals our length times or over our pitch. And that equals 0.75 inches. Now this is kind of an easy one because we've got some real simple numbers here, but we need to get at least 3/4 of an inch of engagement to get that 15 turns, or 1.5 times the diameter. This is real simple, this is easy math, but we can dig in a little farther if you want to know more about what the minimum requirement is. So if we want to get really nerdy, there's an equation to determine how much length of the thread engagement we need to have. Is going to be the area of the wheel stud times the bolt tensile stress up here, and then we're going to have pi times the diameter of the bolt times 0.577, and this is just the geometric constant for a 60-degree thread. This is a number that we're going to use. It's already been figured out. It's the tangent of 30 degrees gives us that number, but that's where that comes from. And then we want, right here, we want the yield strength of the nut that we're going to use. Now, you typically want your bolts to be a higher strength material because they are a wear item, but they're harder to replace and they're more expensive. So you want the nuts to be the sacrificial piece. So the nuts are going to be typically a lower grade steel. But let's see here. So if we know that the area of this bolt, now the actual true area of this, if we take, because you have to take the consideration the threads, is actually going to be 0.1599 square inches. Okay, and then the bolt tensile stress. Now this particular bolt here has between 190,000 to 200,000 pounds per square. We're going to just use the lower number because we're going to be a little more conservative with our numbers here. So we'll do 190,000. And then we know pi, the diameter, this is the nominal diameter is a 1/2 inch. 0.5, we've got our constant. And then the yield strength of the nut. Now remember, the nut is going to be the sacrificial piece, so we're going to use a lower strength. It's going to be like a grade 5 is around 120,000. So we'll say that here. Now let's plug all this stuff in here. Okay, there's all of our numbers. So if we simplify this, now you should probably say that the units of this cancels out the units of that. This is square inches, that's inches, so that cancels out to just inches on top. Unitless, unitless, so we'll just have inches when we're done. And we're just doing some rounding. Okay, so then we bring that down to one more, and the length of the engagement we need is 0.279 inches. That's the minimum engagement you would need for the strength of this bolt with a grade 5 nut. Anything less than that and the threads will fail before the tensile strength of the bolt fails, because this whole math is all done for the threads, not for the strength of the bolt. So we don't want the threads to fail at all, but we know that we need to get at least that much of engagement, a little over 1/4 inch of engagement before the threads would fail. So when we're doing it, the industry standard, they're saying, that you want your length of engagement to be equal to the diameter of the bolt. So if we're going to have a 1/2 inch of thread engagement because we got a 1/2 inch bolt, we're going to be more than covered because we only needed 0.279 before the threads would fail. So we're good on there. But this can get real nerdy if you wanted to dig into this stuff, and we did some rounding here, but you're going to get the idea of what it looks like if you really want to get into the math of the thread engagement of your wheel studs and the nuts that you're using for your wheels. So now that we know way more math than we cared about with these new studs, let's go ahead and get them installed and get this finished on my car. Check this out. These studs are so long that if they were 1/8 of an inch longer, I wouldn't be able to install them in here without taking this hub off. I have to find just the right spot to thread those in. There we go. Boy, that's close. Now that I got those torqued down, we can go back and finish installing the rest of these discs. Now, because I have Willwood, these studs are mounted into the hub of this disc brake setup. If you had drums, they're typically in the back side of the drums. Sometimes they're in a hub, depending on what vehicle you have. So that doesn't really matter. The only thing I wish that was different with these Willwood units is I wish there was like a bull nose or a rounded nose or something like that on the edge of these. When you go to put the lug nut on there, it just kind of centers it and then it gives you easy thread engagement. This setup here, those threads are kind of sharp on the end and you can mar them up and then you can cause cross threading, and I don't really like that. But these studs are still pretty good. I just wish they had that different end on them. And the last part that we didn't talk about is another reason why you might want these long wheel studs is it gives you the opportunity to run wheel spacers to change either the steering dynamics and handling dynamics of the car, more so to get maybe the proper wheel fitment that you're looking for. And if you had shorter wheel studs, you're going to have less and less thread engagement because you're taking up that space with that spacer. So this is just another way to be able to play with your wheel settings and suspension settings by having these long studs in here, and gives you plenty of thread engagement for whatever setup you're trying to do. All right guys, so that's it. That is longer wheel studs, why they're important, what can you do with them, how to figure out how much thread engagement you need, how much you have, and what else you can do. Like I said, like those wheel spacers is kind of a real popular thing for people that aren't doing racing. As I build this car and I'm still chasing performance stuff, I want to have that flexibility to be able to tune stuff in and dial things in just how I want. And now that I've got those longer studs, I could take advantage of some wheel spacers and have fun with that and not worry about my stud length and stuff. So it's time to get back on the road. So, all right, we'll see you in the next one.